That flag is a violation. I told you 10 times, take it down. Linda storms across my lawn. I cross my arms. It's not coming down, Linda. Not now, not ever. She reaches for the pole. Then I'll do it myself. Officer Ramirez steps forward. Step away from the flag, ma'am. His hand rests on his cuffs. You're under arrest for trespassing. Linda freezes. Her face pales. My flag flaps loudly in the wind. The officer's radio crackles. Neighbors watch from their windows. It started with a letter, a neatly folded envelope taped to my front door, addressed in bold, blocky handwriting. Violation notice, improper display of flag. I stood there in disbelief, holding the paper as if it might vanish if I blinked hard enough. My American flag hung proudly on a sturdy pole mounted to the porch, a flag I'd raised for years in honor of my late father who served in the Army. To me, it wasn't just cloth and stitching. It was sacrifice. It was pride. The signature at the bottom made my stomach churn. Linda Harper, HOA President. At first, I laughed it off. Surely this was a mistake. Maybe Linda had confused me with someone else. But when the second letter arrived, then the third, then the fourth, it became clear. She wasn't confused. She was on a mission. By the time the 10th letter landed in my mailbox, each one more aggressive than the last, my patience had worn thin. That afternoon, I saw Linda marching down the sidewalk in her visor and polo shirt, clutching a clipboard like it was a sword of authority. Linda, I called, holding up the latest letter, do you mind explaining why you're harassing me over a flag that's perfectly legal to fly? She pivoted on her heel, eyes narrowing. That flag violates HOA guidelines. It's too large. It's mounted improperly. It's unsightly. Unsightly? I snapped. It's the American flag. There's nothing improper about it. She sniffed. Rules are rules. If you don't comply, we'll have to take further action. I stepped closer. Further action? Like what? Another 10 letters? Or maybe you'll try to rip it down yourself. Her lips curled into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. If that's what it takes. I thought she was bluffing. I thought even she wouldn't cross that line. But I was wrong. The next evening, I was sitting on my porch, sipping a cold beer, when I heard rustling near the flagpole. At first, I thought it was the wind. Then I saw her. Linda creeping up my walkway, flashlight in hand, eyes locked on my flag. She reached into her bag and pulled out a pair of scissors. I shot to my feet. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? She froze, caught like a thief in the night. This flag is a violation. I'm taking it down before you bring down the whole neighborhood's property values. You set 1 foot closer, I warned, voice trembling with fury, and you'll regret it. But she wasn't deterred. She grabbed the pole and tugged at the flag, muttering under her breath. That's when I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. Dispatch, I said quickly. I've got a woman trespassing on my property trying to cut down my flag. Within minutes, flashing red and blue lights lit up the street. 2 officers stepped out of the cruiser, their faces grim. Linda still had her hands on the flagpole when they approached. Ma'am, one officer said firmly, step away from the flag. Linda turned, waving her clipboard wildly. You don't understand. I'm the HOA president. This man is violating community standards. I have the right to enforce the rules. The officer shook his head. You don't have the right to trespass on someone's property and destroy their belongings. This isn't his property, she spat. This belongs to the HOA. Wrong, I cut in, my voice steady despite my racing heart. This is my yard, my porch, my flag. The officers exchanged a look before the taller one stepped forward, pulling out a pair of cuffs. Ma'am, you're under arrest for trespassing and attempted vandalism. What? Linda shrieked, stumbling back. You can't do this to me. I'm the president. Not anymore, the officer said flatly as he clicked the cuffs around her wrists. The neighbors began to gather, drawn by the commotion. Phones recorded the spectacle as Linda wailed and kicked, her clipboard clattering to the ground. "This isn't over," she screeched as they guided her toward the cruiser. "You'll all regret this." I stood there, flag billowing in the evening breeze above me, my chest rising and falling with relief. For the first time in weeks, I felt like justice had been served. In the days that followed, the neighborhood buzzed with gossip. Some were shocked, others secretly delighted. For years, Linda had ruled the HOA like a dictator, slapping fines on people for cracked driveways, faded shutters, or kids' bikes left on lawns. Her arrest was the crack in her armor everyone had been waiting for. At the emergency HOA meeting the following weekend, the board voted unanimously to remove her as president. The decision was met with applause. For once, the community was united, not under her rule, but against it. One of my neighbors, Mrs. Thompson, approached me afterward with a warm smile. "I'm glad you stood up to her. She's been terrorizing this neighborhood for too long." "I just wanted to be left alone," I admitted. "Flying that flag, it means something to me. And now it means something to all of us," she said softly. Life settled back into a peaceful rhythm. The letters stopped. The clipboard crusades ended. The flag, untouched and untarnished, continued to wave proudly from my porch. Sometimes late at night, I'd sit outside and watch it flutter against the moonlit sky. My father's memory, my freedom, my right to call this place home, all stitched into that fabric. And though Linda's shadow had hung over us for too long, her downfall had reminded us all of one simple truth. You can push a community only so far before they push back. The aftermath rippled through our street. Neighbors who rarely spoke began chatting over fences. Kids played freely without fear of being scolded, and a sense of pride replaced the paranoia Linda had instilled. As for me, I kept every one of her 10 letters. They sit in a drawer in my study, not as reminders of her tyranny, but as proof of what happens when someone abuses power and underestimates the strength of a united community. Because in the end, it wasn't just my flag that stood tall. It was all of us. If this story moved, you don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful true stories. Your support allows us to keep delivering valuable insights and stories that inform and inspire people everywhere. Thank you for watching Work Story, and see you in the next one.